Hello everybody, my name is Megan and it's been a while. So yeah, it's been a good old few months since I filmed a video, but we are back. It is April 2022 and this is my TBR. Now Chloe from Persistent Bookworm has been on BookTube for a whole year now and she has very kindly filmed TBR mash for me, so that is how I will be picking my TBR this month. So let's just dive right into it. So I don't know how I'm going to edit this, but I have a notebook to write down some ideas for prompts. I'm going to cheat. Chloe normally picks books as she goes, but like I don't want to do that. I want to get the list of prompts and then pick, so I don't royally screw myself over, because I'm in a bit of a slump. So let's see what Chloe has in store.
Hi Meg, and hi to everyone else as well. My name is Chloe, my channel is called Persistent Bookworm. I have a TBR game which is called TBR Mash. I'm here to play for Meg today to help her pick a TBR. Thank you so much for asking me to do this. I love playing this game for myself and I'm really interested to see someone else using the prompts. So I'm just going to give you a bit of a rundown on what the TBR game is. Basically, it's inspired by the childhood game of MASH. I normally use a random number generator, but I'm going to change that a little bit for you today. And I basically work my way around the board, eliminating a prompt each time until there is only one left in each of these sections. And that is the prompt that I am going to use. So normally MASH is used to sort of predict your life. I use it to dictate my reading life, and that's what we're going to do for you today. There are a couple of rules. There are colours on each of these prompts. If the same colour comes up twice, you have to add an extra one to your TBR, and there are also plus ones as well, and yeah, if one of those comes up, you get an extra prompt as well. We also then have got MASH in the middle. So that is the final prompt that we pick. Usually in the regular game of MASH, this stands for mansion, apartment, shack, house. In my game, it's a mansion, which is a big book, an apartment is a small book, a shack is a book you've been putting off, and a house is comfortable, so it is a mood read.
So glad Chloe went through the rules, because I didn't even think of doing that. So shout out to Chloe.
I normally, like I said, use a random number generator, but I've just been on sprints and I was doing something for my own TBR game and I asked people to pick a random number between 1 and 15, and you actually picked the number 12. So thanks Meg, you have picked your own number for this board, and that is pretty much it. You guys don't need to see me count, let's speed this up.
Oh, she edited it for me, that's so nice.
Okay, so we've got your first prompt, which is going to be a funny book. Take that as you will, but presumably something that you think is going to make you laugh. It doesn't have to be like an actual comedy book. I mean, I read plenty of like dark twisted fantasies that have a really sarcastic sense of humour that I really like. So twist it as much as you need to, but in some way you need to find the book funny.
Okay, so some thoughts I'm having for funny. Aurora's End I know is written in a humorous way to some. I don't necessarily find it the funniest all the time, but I can see the effort was made. One Last Stop could be an option because Casey McQuiston writes sort of young adults in a realistic way, and so I found the sort of interactions in Red, White and Royal Blue quite amusing, so One Last Stop could be the same. The Sinister Mystery of the Mesmerizing Girl by Theodore Goss could be an option, because I find them quite amusing.
So let's pick our second prompt. Prompt number 2, which is, when I can get it off of the board, free pick. See, I'm being nice to you. You can pick whatever the hell you want to put on this TBR. No rules, nothing like that, just whatever. What I will say, the only rule actually, it's not a mood read. You can't choose it throughout the month. You have to pick which book you are putting on your TBR now, but there are no rules to what it is that you pick, okay?
Before we pick prompt number 3, free pick, it could be anything on my sort of vaguely want to read right now kind of list. So A Far Wilder Magic, Final Girls by Riley Sega, because Spring Flingoween is happening later on in April and that fits both of the prompts. Anything from the shelf you can't see way over here that is just all of my TBR. Like we'll see when we get there.
Right, let's pick prompt number 3. Okay, prompt number 3 is page number. So I'm going to warn you, by the way, this is orange, so is that. you've got to pick an extra one. I quite like I'm quite gleeful that you've got to pick extra ones and it's not just me that's being chaotic, because I've just filmed my own TBR and it was very chaotic, so I'm happy that it's not just for me. So
Chloe's TBR will be linked down below. It was indeed chaotic. It was a great time, and I was happy to contribute to that TBR.
the page number would mean we use a random number generator. You have to find a book that is sort of within 50 pages of that, so 25 above, 25 below. Let me get a random number generator and we'll see how it goes. So I'm going to say that most books are like 250 to 550 in pages. I mean, that's a nice, that covers like your contemporaries and your fantasies. It doesn't go quite up to your really chunky fantasies. I'm trying to be nice to you. But let's put in 250 to 550. We have got 439. Enjoy finding a book that is between 414 and 464 pages long. I mean, I think that actually covers a fair amount, because there are definitely fantasies that fit in that, but there are definitely contemporaries that fit in it as well, and everything else in between, I'm sure, as well. So enjoy. Okay.
I will not do that on camera because it might take a while to find a book I want to read within those pages, so we shall see.
It's not a last prompt because you have to have an extra. Let's see which one we have here though, shall we, for prompt number 4. So prompt number 4, and we have got colour. Okay, so it's not the same colour as anything else, that's the good sign for you. Basically, you can use this prompt in a few different ways. So you can say that the book has to have a colour in the title. So for example, I've just read The Golden Foal by Robin Hobb. That would have fit for this. You can also match it to the colour that you are wearing if you would like to do that. I mean, I'm wearing a lot of colours, so like I would say potentially I've got blue eyeshadow on at the minute, so I would pick a book that has blue on the cover. You can also let me pick for you, and I'm going to use a random colour generator because that is actually a thing that exists, and pick a book that has that type of colour on the cover. That's actually what I did when this prompt came up. I got like a really random pinky colour and it matched perfectly with something I wanted to read. So I'm going to do that for you. It is up to you whether or not you want to use it. So there is a website literally called Random Colour, and you click on it and it does this. So it's a purple. Pick a book with purple. Now I know that you subscribe to Fairy Lou and they do a ton of books with purple sprayed edges. So clue there, that opens up a lot of options for you. But if you want to use it in one of the other ways I've mentioned, feel free to do that as well.
Okay, so Chloe is right. I do subscribe to Fairy Lou. I potentially wanted to read Only a Monster this month, which has purple edges. It's very pretty, by Vanessa Lem, one of those two. I'm wearing green right now, and A Far Wilder Magic is very green. And The Last of August, which is the second in the Charlotte Holmes books, is green. Do I have any other purple books I want to read? I mean, One Last Stop is purple. The Sinister Mystery of the Mesmerizing Girl is purple. We have options. I'll decide what colour I'm going to go for when I decide what I want to read for it.
Okay, so we're going to pick our extra prompt and then we will pick MASH as well. So let's pick this one first. The way we do this is it's just the one we land on. So you have got to read a fantasy. I'm sure that is not hard for you to do. Nothing more to say about that one. And then the very last thing, we have to pick MASH. So let's see where this lands us, shall we? I mean, you picked the number. It is your own fault. You've got to read a mansion. You've got to read a big book. Over 500 pages is what I class as a big book. Again, I feel like you actually read quite a lot though. I feel like you read quicker than I do. So I don't think that's going to be an issue for you. But there you have it. You need to read a funny book, a book that is within 50 pages of 439, a free pick, but you have to choose what it is today, a book with purple on the cover or some type of colour related prompt that you picked yourself, a fantasy, and a book over 500 pages. I don't think it's been too horrible to you. I mean, it all depends on what you picked for it, I suppose. But I hope you enjoy. I'm really happy to see you coming back to making videos. I love watching your channel. So yeah, thank you again for asking me to do this. And yeah, best of luck with your TBR. Bye.
Isn't Chloe lovely? That was so nice of her. Thank you so much, Chloe. I really appreciate it. And yeah, it wasn't too bad. gonna be reading some chunky books this month, but I was already, I didn't even tell you the fantasy mansion ideas I have. Okay, so I'm thinking I want to try and read the Assassin's Apprentice trilogy by Robin Hobb this month, because I own so many Robin Hobb books and I've read not a single one. And so that's sort of 2 of those covered, and then the 3rd one will just be an added extra for the fun. Okay, so I'm gonna turn you off for probably a good chunk of time while I go deliberate on my TBR, and I will be back with you shortly. But once again, thank you so much, Chloe. Okay, so I'm back. I have deliberated, and let's go through. So for funny, I'm gonna go for one I didn't mention when I was just freestyling my thoughts. I'm gonna go for The Last of August by Brittany Cavallaro, which is book 2 in the Sherlock Holmes series. And while this isn't like haha laugh out loud funny, it deals with teenagers and they make jokes at each other's expense. And it's about the descendants of Sherlock Holmes and John Watson going to a boarding school in America and becoming friends and solving mysteries. And the first book was really good. I don't know why I liked it so much, but I did, and I am very hyped to carry on with the series. And the last time I took library binding off a book, I damaged it, so I'm scared to do it again, which is why it's so shiny and reflective. Choice 2. Choice 2 was free pick, and for that I'm going to go for Final Girls by Riley Sega. This is a book about, well, I'm just going to read you the back actually. So first there were 3, the media calls them the Final Girls, the infamous group of survivors that no one wants to be part of. Then there were 2, but when Lisa dies in mysterious circumstances, Sam shows up unannounced and angry. Can there only ever be one? All Quincy knows is one thing: she is next. And honestly, I have this tiny little mass market paperback. It was £1 from the works, and I really need to read it so I can either decide I'm keeping it or get rid of it. And Spring Fling-a-ween is a great time to give this a shot and hit off 2 of the 3 prompts. Choice number 3 was Page Count. Now, I had to look through a fair few of the books on my TBR. None of them had a page count, other than this one, which was 434, I believe. Yeah, 434 pages. Is The Sinister Mystery of the Mesmerizing Girl by Theodore Goss. This is book 3 in the Athena Club books, is that what it's called? The Extraordinary Adventures of the Athena Club, book 3. And this is a super fun series about characters from Gothic novels, like the children of characters from Gothic novels, solving mysteries and going on adventures. And I really enjoyed book 1. I'm like 90% of the way through book 2 and we'll be finishing it on the last day of the month tomorrow. Yeah, this is my pick for page count. I think I was like 5 pages off the actual number, so that was pretty good. Pick 4 was colour. I did decide to go with my top because I'm picking If Our Wilder Magic by Alison Saft. I have heard fantastic things about this book. I don't really know what it's about other than it's like very romantic, and I think based on Jewish culture. Margaret Welty spots the legendary Halla, the last living mythical creature, and knows the half-moon hunt will soon follow. And I think there's a guy, there are secrets, they have to like save the creature perhaps, I don't know, but I'm looking forward to it. And now is when I start, you know, screwing myself over. So for book 5 was fantasy. I'm going for Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb. This is the first book in the Realm of the Elderling series, part of a massive adult fantasy series that everyone on BookTube has been reading and enjoying, about a bastard, Fitz, who is like adopted by the royal family after his dad like abdicates the throne and runs away. And I think he has magic, and they seem to be really sad and long, but everyone loves them anyway, so I'm excited to dive in. And the final prompt was mansion. So book 2, Royal Assassin, definitely counts as that because it's well over 600 pages. It is 648 pages. This is book 2 in the Assassin's Apprentice trilogy, the first trilogy of the Realm of the Underlings, and I'm going to try and read the whole trilogy this month, so let's hope that goes well for me. So finally, some books that are not in my TBR, but like maybe I'll get to them. First, we have Assassin's Quest by Robin Hobb, which is even longer. It's 838 pages. Third book in the Assassin's Apprentice trilogy. like the Fitz trilogy, I think people call it. Yeah, it's gonna be a month. My next choices are all bookbox books. So we have A River Enchanted by Rebecca Ross, which is absolutely stunning. We have like gorgeous end papers, we have beautiful edges. Do we have embossing? We have embossing. It's a stunning book. I don't really know what it's about. I'm just trying to read my bookbox books, and this is one of my most recent unread bookbox books, so I need to read it. On the back it just says, your presence is required at once for urgent business. Please return to Cadence with your harp upon receipt. I'm intrigued. The second option I've already mentioned in this video is Only a Monster by Vanessa Len. This is the Thoroughly edition. Again, stunning edges, gorgeous end papers, embossing. It's got it all. In every story there is a hero and a monster. Don't forget the rule. No one can know what you are. You must never tell anyone about monsters. Again, intrigued. I've been following the author on Instagram forever, I think. And I've been intrigued about this book since well before it came out. I do prefer the American cover. I'm not as big a fan of this one, but we'll see if I get to it. And the last bookbox book is Daughter of the Moon Goddess. It's this gorgeous fairy edition. It's inspired by, I believe, Chinese folklore. And it is Ro from Wandering Through World's Patreon book club pick for March and April. They're months, right? I haven't gotten to it yet, and it's a bookbox book, so I'm going to try and make it a priority. I would also like to read a non-fiction and a classic, but I'm not going to decide what they are right now because I don't have the brain power to decide that. They'll probably both be on audio. So I have a John Ronson audio, I've got a Richard Ayoade if I really want something light. I've got The New Age of Empire on audio if I feel like reading that. I've got Eating Animals, which I don't think I'm going to read. I feel like that will be too much. And then classics, I've got Great Gatsby, I've got The Tenant of Wellfell Hall and Agatha Gray, both by Anne Bronte, which I really want to round out my Bronte sisters. I want to have read from each of them, so yeah. And then all of those reads I will just, as and when I have the mental energy, try and slot them into magical readathon prompts. And if I do have more energy towards the end of the month, I'll try and pick up some extra things to fill the prompts I haven't hit. But I don't even know if I've hit the prompts from like last September and the March readathon. Like I've been slumping so much, so I feel like this is enough for now. So let me get them all together and we'll see what I've done to myself. Okay, so this is the stack for now. I feel like I've made a mistake, but thank you so much, Chloe. I really appreciate you doing TBR mash for me, and the actual TBR I did. Not too strenuous. I feel like I'll be able to cope with that quite well. It's the extra things I've done to myself that might be the issue. So yeah, I will hopefully see you very soon for another video. Please feel to like, comment and subscribe. Let me know what your reading plans for April are, and I will see you soon. Bye!